Welcome back to Sunday Brunch. We're live on Channel 4. We are now joined by Lucy Shepherd. Lucy, first thing I'm going to do is show you on the cover of your book so that people... Because you look lovely in your suit, but you're an adventurer and people need to see you in your work gear. There you go. And here you are with a bow and arrow. There you go. That's the sort of thing you do. You're an adventurer. What is an adventurer?
Yeah, I mean, the term adventurer or explorer, I suppose... Now that we live in, our modern day, kind of what is that now? But exploration is always important, I think. Without exploration and adventure, we kind of stagnate. I like to go to these places, these wild places, and, when we're a kid, we have so much, awe and wonder for the world.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happens. I think it's like you get to a teenage age, and some of that, I don't know if it's schooling or... mortgages, responsibilities... that starts to sort of being sucked out of you a little bit. And so my sort of mission with the work that I do, whether storytelling, writing and the TV shows, is kind of show what amazing world we live in and that awe and wonder.
So how do you begin, though? When you make the decision, right, I'm going to be an explorer, adventurer?
Well, yeah, I definitely didn't grow up thinking that was a real job. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, even saying it to you two right now. But... just like a lot of kids, used to like climbing trees a lot. That gave me an appreciation, I suppose, for the outdoors, and never really stopped, I suppose. Yeah.
But how do you train inside? Because we're going to talk to you about Secret Amazon and then Secret Africa, which is your new show coming up. Secret Amazon's already been on Channel 4. But how do you train to go into these places? Yeah,
whether you're going to the Arctic or the mountains or the jungles, they all kind of, you need a different level of fitness. I always try and keep a base level of fitness. It's kind of, I see it as part of my day-to-day job, I suppose. I live near Ali Pali, so running up the hill all the time. Right. Just try and incorporate it. And I think there's something to muscle memory. I get quite used to carrying our rucksacks on Secret Amazon and Secret Africa were both 35 kilograms.
Wow. And you're never without them, really, are you?
Oh, no, that is everything. Yeah. It's your lifeline.
Yeah. But also, how do you learn what to eat, drink, not to die of what creatures, how they're going to react? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that can kill you. Yeah. So my thing is, there's so many... I like to collaborate, and so I go with teams. I put a sort of team of other explorers together, but those teams are Indigenous people from around the world. And, finding those explorers in those communities and them wanting to sort of go outside their comfort zone and go and see places they've never seen. So we kind of all go on a journey together and... become friends and sort of go through this adventure, and it's pretty scary, spicy.
But that must take time as well. You can't just decide, right, I'm going to go the Amazon.
No.
Must be the admin, the permissions, etc., etc.
So much. So I organise it all myself. I sort of do all of that. I even film it myself as well. So it's all real, all raw. I sort of get an idea. I get sort of excited by a place that I may not have heard of very much, and they just start digging. And you need so many permissions and permits, and then you've got to find your team. You've got to find people you trust. There's a step. It's basically you kind of think of the end point and then you work backwards. Yeah. OK, so we'll start by talking about Secret Amazon, and the book is... it's about your life, but also about that trip into the Amazon. You're going places that humans have not been before, is that correct? Or... Yeah, we think so, and my Indigenous team also think that, because of the geography. They're really far away. We were going through jungle that not facing rivers for 3 weeks at a time, which means you're not seeing sunlight. The canopy's so thick out there. And so, just because of the geography, and there's a lot of legends and myths that surround this area. And so there's a lot of fear of going in there. So
how'd you get out if something happens to you?
That's the question. In Amazon, sometimes we were 2 weeks from help. It was very much, if something happens, it's game over.
Well, we've got a clip to illustrate how dangerous it can be. Here we go.
Peccary are a wild pig. In this wilderness, it's the white-lipped peccary that roam. And they travel in herds of up to 500 and can become very defensive. You don't want to come across them.
Peccary.
Peccary.
How many?
There's a lot of them.
A lot of peccaries. So peccaries are super dangerous. They take out anything in their path. And we have to climb a tree. So they come. Oh, right.
200 meters far from.
They're only a couple 100 meters away.
That's brilliant.
It all
More
got
than
very,
pigs, I would say.
it all got very Blair Witch with a moving
exactly.
cat there.
I mean,
Was it as scary as it looked?
I mean, even the jaguars and the bushmaster snakes are afraid of the
Are they?
500 packs of, herds of pigs running through the jungle.
You were actually telling me before the show you've come across a few jaguars.
Yeah, no, jaguars, I mean, you're almost lucky to see a jaguar because obviously they are scared of you as well. But
Good camouflage as well.
Yeah, I mean, they are scary. They have sort of big saber-toothed teeth, and they, unlike a lot of cats, they don't go for the neck. They come up behind and go for the sort of the skull.
Nice.
They had some pretty... my first ever, which is in the book, first ever expedition to the jungle back in 2014. First night there, had a really close encounter with a jaguar circling me. It was stalking.
Oh, no.
Wow.
And so I'm sitting there absolutely terrified. I have a small penknife, and I'm like, oh, my God, I can do nothing here. And it went on for ages. And it's kept going. I'm sort of thinking this is me done. My two members of my team who are Amerindian, they thought they were respecting my privacy by putting their hammocks like far away, which don't do now because stronger together. Stronger. And then there was a huge kerfuffle beneath my hammock, sort of feeling things underneath my bum, and it was like, what is that? And then it was silent. And then in the light comes up, and sort of we can see again. And I sheepishly go over to my teammate Harold and to say what's gone on. And he looks down at the ground, he looks up, and he just goes, jaguar. And wow. There had been an armadillo, so that the jaguar had been stalking, that had sought shelter and refuge underneath my hammock. And so, it wasn't stalking me, it was stalking the armadillo.
Now, when Steve Backshall came on the show, he'd been out to the Amazon and stuff, and he said he was just covered in sort of fungus and stuff when he came out of there. Did that happen to you? Are you just... Yeah,
I mean, in the jungle, it's really... In order to sort of survive in the jungle, it's really boring stuff. It's like hygiene and admin. Because, things burrow into your skin. Some of my teammates had these, like, basically bot flies that get in and you have to sort of suffocate them and squeeze them out. You get used to having... it sounds... I'm going to put off everyone to the jungle, but you get used to having ticks all over your back and having to get... you end up sort of having to pick each other's ticks.
You got stung by a wasp. I think we've got to pay that to you after being stung by a wasp.
Yeah, so that is not just any wasp. You have to really know your wasps in the jungle. So there's some wasps that, you come across nests all the time. They're really camouflaged and sometimes you can't help it. And there's some wasps that will come up to you. They'll swarm you. You kind of have to freeze. They sting you a lot and it hurts a little bit, but you sort of then go on your way. There's another type of wasps that look exactly the same, and you don't freeze, you leg it, you run as fast as you can. And then there's this wasp, which is like the king of all wasps, the tarantula hawk wasp, and you'll often see it.
Sounds really fun.
It's like that big. You'll often see it on the forest floor, like pulling a tarantula that it's killed, it's nose-dived, paralysed it, so it's still alive. Takes it to its burrow, injects its own larvae in there, which then eats it inside out, leaving the vital organs. And they're usually pretty docile to humans, but not on that day.
Good job, sounds horrible. I was seeing how excited it sounded now.
We're running out of time, so we've got to talk about Secret Africa. So you've done the whole thing, but this again, your adventure, you've gone to Africa. Tell us about it.
It turns out there are a lot of lions. So I was going across Tanzania again with a great team of nomadic hunter-gatherers. Lions, maybe I didn't quite anticipate how many lions there are. You have to behave differently with different kinds of animals out there. And my team, they give me advice about this. And with the lions, all you can do at night time is just be still and silent. And the prides were getting closer and closer to us. We're just in these tiny little one-people tents. And this one pride came towards the end. And the male lion just plonked himself in between my tent and my other teammate's tent. My head's here. The lion is here, and he just sits there for 2 minutes roaring at our heads. And I think that was probably the single most scariest thing.
Bet.
How?
Then what happened?
Well, I made sure I wasn't making a noise, because if you make a noise, it's like you're challenging, the lions.
How loud is it?
Oh, it's that sort of primal fear that you get. So it's like this bellowing.
Really?
Yeah.
So you've been around polar bears, which will definitely eat you.
Yes.
Lions, do they want to eat you or not?
They're very used, because I was sort of naive, the Serengeti, we kind of think we know. So So the whole show is really showing the wild places of Tanzania. We think we know Tanzania, but there's so many extremely wild and places we have never seen before. So it was walking across that. Will they eat you? I mean, we came across some starving prides, which I think would definitely
hungry ones,
the hungry ones. And after all, they're wild animals, so I wouldn't want to take my chance.
What weapons are you taking with you on these things? Have you got guns with you when you do these trips?
Obviously, you never want to use them.
Obviously.
On the Serengeti, we actually had to, just not going in there without.
And when you go to the Arctic, you have to take a gun, don't
with
you?
Polar bears,
will
yeah.
eat you, yeah.
But at the end of the day, especially in the Serengeti, you're going to sleep if you don't have time. You know, a gun's not going to do anything to a pride. So it really is just a tick in the box.
Can I just ask you this, because we were just saying it before we started your chat, is the difference between the North and the South Pole. They are different, you said.
They're very different. Yeah, I mean, the South Pole and the Antarctica is it's a dry desert, so all the moisture's not, like, the snow is like sandpaper, whereas the Arctic is, it's quite moist and you can go further on your skis, like, easier.
So it's harder to...
Harder to move, I suppose, on the South Polar Plateau, yeah.
And is it as equally as cold at both?
Yeah. I mean, but then I got back. So I got back recently from Antarctica. I got back here and it was freezing.
She was outside the big Tesco's going, it's cold.
It's
so cold out here. What's it like being here? Is it boring?
No, I love the contrast. I mean, I love every part of my job because I see through, making the shows, writing the books. I've had so much fun writing this. Really did enjoy going back to that. And then with the programmes, work with a really small but great team. But I'm producing it as well and seeing it right through. So
brilliant.
It's very.
Where haven't you been yet that you really want to go?
So many places. The world's such a big place. This is what I want to sort of try and get into other people. What an incredible world we live in, and it's full of wonder and awe. And sometimes things can get a bit rubbish in the news and things. So try and hopefully, with my work, try and inspire maybe at least one person to hopefully feel a little bit more positive about the world.
Wonderful. Thanks, Lucy. Your debut book, Into the Wild, is out on the 16th of April.
In just a moment, we'll be catching up with